A happy Tuesday to everyone out there. Today we have left the friendly confines of Kentucky. We are not even in our home state of Indiana. We have crossed into the volunteer state of Tennessee.
That's right. And we're going to be kicking off a 3-week series about Tennessee whiskey and Tennessee distilleries, starting off with an historic Tennessee walking horse farm. Stay tuned.
My name is Wayne.
And I'm Rebecca.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
Welcome to episode 48 of Bourbon Trail Tales Tastes. This is August 19th of 2023, and we're in Shelbyville, Tennessee, which is the home of Uncle Nearest. This is distillery number 51 for us and our second distillery to visit in the state of Tennessee. So we're pretty excited. We had been looking forward to doing some Tennessee things, and luckily we had a cousin that was getting married that weekend, so we went in a little bit early so we could visit a couple of distilleries before and then one afterward, which makes up this little 3-part series. But it was so cool pulling into the driveway of Uncle Nearest. It was just beautiful. I mentioned in the intro how it was an historic Tennessee walking farm, and it is just beautiful. The land is gorgeous. I think they have over 400 acres there, which is crazy, but they have things painted green to go with Uncle Nearest, who was Nearest Green, and then also horseshoes all over the place to represent the Tennessee walking horses. And it is still the walking horse farm. They still have horses there. What else do you remember when we first got there? Before we even got inside.
You also had the angel wings that they had the artist who painted the ones at Nashville, came out and painted a set out there. Mm-hmm. The gift shop was phenomenal. You go inside, they have artifacts that dated back to a family of Nearest Green. The gift shop was huge.
Yes.
A lot there. And because I needed a tie, I ended up buying a cat/dog bow tie of Uncle Nearest that I actually wore the wedding that night. It was like this teeny thing about that big, and it looked silly. Unfortunately, I have a family that understands me. Anyhow, it was a very impressive gift shop.
Mm-hmm. Then we started on the tour, and it was interesting. We'd forgotten about it until we started revisiting pictures and such today. But we had a main tour guide that also passed us off to other interim tour guides on the trail. So that was interesting. So we started walking around and he was giving some of the history. And then we come up to what looks like a concession stand. And the other lady starts giving really detailed history about Uncle Nearest and pre-prohibition times and things like that. Then we went through this secret door and went into what they called a speakeasy for another nice lady in there who gave some more information about what speakeasies were like during Prohibition. And there was this beautiful back wall behind this bar that had these 3 stained glass windows, just lovely. And I thought sure we'd do our tasting there, but we did not. That would have been really cool. But she gave a lot of really good history about that. And then the guide took us out on the grounds and we started walking around the grounds some more. What do you recall next, Wayne?
Well, I remember that they were still installing the still, and they were talking about the fact that it was going to be up in another 30 days. I'm not sure if it's actually up or not, but I know they were in the process of it at the time.
There was a lot of banging going on. You could hear them putting it together.
There was a lot of noise, and there was a lot of that and a lot of vulgarity going on because they were frustrated trying to put it together. I remember that it was actually a very beautiful day.
Oh, yeah.
When we were outside walking around, and it was a lot of walking. And we ended up, of course, going inside and seeing their small rick house where it was like 2 or 3 levels high. It wasn't very high.
It's a 1-story rick house.
Yeah, and we ended up going back inside, and that's where we ended up, I believe, doing our tasting.
Mm-hmm. It was another little building off to the side. It seems like it was right outside of, or maybe we went through the rick house to get to it. But it was another building. We also got to stop off and look inside one of the horse areas to see where the horses are. And then we did our tasting, which was quite extensive. I think there were maybe 5 things we tasted that day.
Yeah.
It was the basic Uncle Nearest. We also tried some of these black label, which are the single barrels. And I think they had some burgundy labels, which were the special master blended. And we tried the rye. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty interesting. We had just the week before at the Evansville Bourbon Society had the brand ambassador in for Uncle Nearest. So we had just done a flight with them, but I don't recall him bringing some of these single barrels and such in. It was more the baseline. So we were actually excited about something like this because this had a lot more proof on it and more was in our flavor profile too. So, and that's what we ended up purchasing. That day we did buy a few things. We bought 1 rye, 2 of the single barrels, and 1 of the master blended bottles.
And 1 teeny tiny bow tie.
I think we got a Glencairn too.
We might have, I don't remember. There was a lot of stuff there, but the frustrating thing for me is anything that I was really interested in getting was very expensive.
Yeah.
And anything that was very affordable, I didn't want. So we ended up just only, like I said, getting the tie, and then I believe you're right. I think we did get a Glencairn because it's kind of been something we've done. Well, one other thing we didn't talk about was the bar.
Oh, yeah. It did come up on the tour because the guy pointed over there and said, that's the Humble Baron Bar and Entertainment Center. So they are planning to have concerts there.
Yes.
He said, but if you have time, go check out the bar. We really didn't have time to go in for a cocktail or anything like that, but we heard it had a world's record. So we went into the bar, and sure enough, it was just crazy. The bar winds around in all different configurations to hit the world record distance of 518 feet. So that's a little insane. There wasn't really anyone there drinking or anything at that point in time. It was a little early, but we would love to stop back by there sometime and check it out, maybe when it's a little more happening.
Well, it was one of the 2 things that's in the Guinness Book of World Records for the place. One is, of course, the longest bar, and the second one is for the most frustrated bartenders having to deal with a 518-foot bar. More props to them for that. But seriously, anyway, we are about ready to taste something that we purchased that day. And Rebecca, go ahead and inform our reviewers of what we are about ready to try.
Sure. This is an example of an Uncle Nearest single barrel. It is actually single barrel number 070. It is a Tennessee whiskey. It was sourced, most likely during this time frame, it would have been sourced from Dickel. The mash bill is unknown, and it is non-age stated, but what I looked up said that most of their single barrels were 8 to 11 years old. The proof is 123.3, and I thought it had a pretty decent MSRP of $79.99. We did purchase this on August 19th of 23 for that same MSRP price at the Uncle Nearest Distillery. I'm taking a Whiskey University course, and we had to taste something for Uncle Nearest, and I pulled this one out and opened it about 2 weeks ago and I'd only do half-ounce tastes for those, but I was impressed enough that was the selection I made for today because I wanted Wayne to be able to taste it, and I wanted a better pour of it than I had that night. So I'm looking forward to revisiting it.
I attempted to take the class, but I failed the first question, which is, what is your name?
Stop.
Anyway. Let's take a look
See
here.
if the legs form while we're nosing it.
I got some legs going.
Now, I like this nose. Sometimes on Tennessee whiskeys, there's not a lot of nose, or the nose is off-putting to me. This is not off-putting.
A little floral. You get the alcohol, you get too close.
It is over 120. I'm getting some brown sugar notes.
Brown sugar, that's a good call. I still think there's a little bit of floral in there, at least the very beginning for me.
It is forming some okay legs. Everything with Tennessee whiskey goes through the Lincoln County process, which means they put it through charcoal mellowing prior to putting it in the barrel, and that is supposed to make it more mellow, but it does strip out some of the flavor. And in my opinion, one of the reasons we're not huge Tennessee whiskey fans is it often strips out some of the viscosity too, some of the oils, and it's just kind of spotted here. It's not really having legs for me.
I've got a few little
They're little.
driplets, but anyway.
I just think that comes from the Lincoln County process.
Hey, my wife knows all this stuff. Who am I? Anyway, let's go ahead and at least try it. That aspect I can get. Cheers to all of you out there, your Uncle Nearest fans. Let's see what this is like. Cheers.
Yes. Caramel and brown sugar.
Caramel, brown sugar. You get the alcohol.
I'm getting a little bit of barrel note with it. So I do buy into that might be a little bit older.
I'm getting a little black pepper in it, and that may have to do with what you said is the barrel.
Mm-hmm. I'm liking the proof point though. There are some tastes I'm getting on this that I do agree with the research I did that felt this time period was probably sourced from Dickel.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like some of the older Dickel that we have.
Kind of a
It
mineral.
has that familiarity.
Yeah, the mineral type thing. Some people complain about it. Some people, I don't mind it. Actually, it's okay.
I find it's okay on their older stuff.
Yeah.
On their younger stuff, it's bothersome. But on their more aged whiskeys, which might be why they age things a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That may be one of the reasons they do it. Maybe it mellows it a little bit more.
Probably.
Or the barrel starts taking
Yeah.
over. 'Cause I do have some barrel notes on this that I'm enjoying.
Makes you wonder what a 40-year-old barrel would be like.
It does have a really pleasant nose. For me, there's nothing off-putting about this at all. What are you thinking from an overall general feeling about it?
I don't think it's too bad. I'm getting a lot more alcohol on it. To me, it's a little bit more alcohol forward. I do find the nose pleasant, and I find the palate that bad. But a lot of times, usually when I tend to get alcohol forward, it's a little bit more off-putting to me. So let me sip. I'm gonna try this again.
This is my first sip of the day. I think you had a warm-up pour.
I did.
It's not drinking hot, but I am getting a lot of barrel notes on this. The more I sip it, the more barrel notes I'm getting, which, if you've ever watched us, we enjoy barrel notes. And it's the brown sugar is almost turning into a toffee note for me, especially on the finish a little bit. And I'm thinking that is really quite yummy. I love a good Heath bar, and it's almost like toffee with some dark chocolate back there. So I'm liking that a lot. And it is a nice, long, lingering finish.
The alcohol part isn't as prevalent to me now. I am getting some cinnamon, and I think the cinnamon is the warmth that I'm getting. And I am getting, like I said before, black pepper. It's not bad.
It's interesting because you seem to be getting a spicier take on it, and I'm getting a sweeter, unctuous kind of taste on it.
For me, it's more savory.
It just shows because I'm getting like dark chocolate and cocoa and brown sugar, and he's getting pepper and cinnamon. So we're just having different experiences, which is absolutely fine because no two people are going to taste something and taste exactly the same thing, in my opinion.
But it is coming off to me a little bit more savory. I don't think it's bad. It's worth the price we paid. I certainly wouldn't pay more than what we paid.
I think it's reasonably priced for, and I do believe it is 8 to 11 years old. I think it is drinking mature. It does taste like something that's been in a barrel a little bit longer. So I do agree with the estimates of this 2023 barrel probably being 8 to 11 years old and probably being Dickel just based on some of the notes we're getting. But I'll just tell you this, no offense to Uncle Nearest, we were not fans of their baseline, but we don't like a lot of baseline products. To be honest, that's not what got us into bourbon and whiskey. The things that are a little bit more special, that have a little more age, that are cask strength is what we tend to gravitate toward, or that have an unusual mash bill. So it's not surprising that the baseline Uncle Nearest wasn't appealing to us. I'm just saying that because if you've tried that and you were not a fan, try to get your hand on one of these master blended or single barrels, and I think it might give you a different impression.
I would agree. I think a single barrel really is the true impression of what the distillery can do. While the other things are a decent representation, I've always enjoyed a good single barrel. I've really
Especially
enjoyed
cask strength.
Cask strength. This is not bad. I would probably revisit this again. I might buy the bottle if it were available, but once again, Tennessee tends to not be the whiskey that I prefer.
But I think this is a very nice representation for Tennessee whiskey.
Yes, and I think it's a good representation for them.
And I would say definitely head out to Shelbyville and visit Uncle Nearest. It is absolutely lovely. It is so pretty. The grounds are gorgeous. And you'll probably be able to get a tour. That would be excellent. I would highly recommend doing that because it is multidimensional. You do various things there. And I just can't recommend that enough. And maybe pick up a bottle or a couple souvenirs.
Yep. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will lift our glass to Uncle Nearest and the family out there and everybody involved with the property. Cheers to you. Hope you have a great day. If you like what we do, hit the subscribe button And if you like, we have a Patreon community that we're starting with a lot of things that will be coming in the future. Always remember to drink responsibly. God bless you. Have a great day. Cheers.
Cheers.